Welcome to the C-Suite Mentor, the place where you will learn the tools, strategies, and mindset to scale your business sustainably and build a lasting legacy. I'm your host, Theresa Cantley. As a fellow CEO, I understand what it takes to scale a business to 7 and multiple 8 figures. It's not necessarily what you might think. It requires a complete shift in how you think, strategize, and execute key actions in your business. My mission is to help CEOs step back into the driver's seat of their business by optimizing their operations, empowering their team, and staying in total alignment with their big vision. So, are you ready to exchange everything that hasn't worked for strategies that will? You're in the right place, so let's go. I wanted to talk today because the holidays are coming, and I wanted to talk. This is going to be a little bit of my TED Talk speech here, but I wanted to talk about something that is a giant pet peeve of mine, and I think it's something that we need to pay attention to now more than ever, really. And with the holidays coming, I think it's a super important message to share, and that is presence. Having presence when you're having conversations with people, whether you're on a Zoom call or you're on a phone call or you are live and you're interacting with people. And particularly as it relates to your team in your business. I know lots of people have meetings. My husband has meetings all day long. I know I have meetings when I'm working with clients. And the truth is people have a problem with being present during conversations. Now, there are lots of distractions in this world. Lots. There are everything that you hear about in the news. Right now, everybody is busy with school events and work events and shopping and lists, and people have all kinds of stuff going through their head. But the truth of the matter is that having presence is so important, and it is the thing that really, truly people really want from one another, is to have a conversation and have the person on the other end be present in the conversation. One of the things that drives me absolutely bonkers is to sit in a meeting with someone, and I've had this happen over and over and over again, and I think with the rise of the Apple Watch, it's gotten worse. But to sit in a meeting with someone and you're having a conversation, you're trying to get a point across. You're trying to work through a problem to come to a solution. You're trying to have a conversation about some kind of a change that needs to happen. And all you see is them looking down at their watch or looking at their phone or staring at you with this like blank stare, and you can see they're looking right through you and they're not paying attention. And I know as a business coach, I've had that happen to me many times over. And the funny thing is that when a client comes to me and says, I'm so overwhelmed, and we're having a meeting where we're talking about why they're overwhelmed, or they're coming to me saying, I'm overwhelmed, I think I need to change things, yada, yada, yada. And we're having a conversation and their calendar is blank and they're looking at their watch and they're picking up their phone and they're not listening to what I say. And honestly, when I've been in those meetings, all of a sudden I stop. And I just sit there and wait for them to start paying attention again. And then we continue. And what I normally continue with is the reason why you're overwhelmed is because you're trying to do too many things at once. And many times when people aren't present in the conversation, it's because they're thinking of 500 other things. They're thinking about the list in their head, or they're multitasking their thoughts. And the truth of the matter is it just doesn't work. So as we go into the holiday season and beyond, like I said, there has been so much with world events. There's been so much with all of the ups and downs that we've faced in the economy, in society, in businesses. And all people want is for you to be present, for you to just be able to have a conversation, for them to be able to have a conversation with you and have you actually hear them, not just listen, but hear them, and not hear them with your ears, but hear them with your heart, so that you're listening to what they have to say, and what they have to say is important. I had a mentor that I used to work with that I would be writing down my list, and I would be super excited to have a conversation with this mentor. I would be I would be having a challenge, or I would have an idea and I wanted to talk to them about it, because that's what they're there for, to help you work through something, to get to the other side of it, to come up with a solution, or to create a plan for something, or to, work through an idea that you have and kind of get the next steps going. And I would get so excited to meet with this mentor. And when I would get on the phone with the mentor, listen to me, I'm dating myself. When I would get on the call with my mentor, and he was in a different state, he would be talking to me, obviously with the screen up, responding to emails. And I would be talking, and I know he wasn't listening because I would ask a question and he wouldn't say anything. And I got to tell you, from my own personal experience, it was the most heartbreaking thing to go through, or to be a part of, when you're trying to have a conversation with someone who I respect, someone who I admire, someone who I was looking for some guidance from, to know that what I was saying wasn't important. To know what I was saying and what my ideas were, what my dreams were, what my goals were, didn't matter. And maybe they did, but I didn't know that, because I didn't know that because he was obviously paying attention to other things. So I want you to remember, if you're having meetings with your team, and I don't care how big your business is, it could be a team of 2, you and the other person, or it could be a team of 20. I don't care how big your team is. I don't care if you're meeting on a Zoom call, or you're meeting on a regular call, or you're meeting live. Stay present and stay focused. Stay focused on what that person is saying, and let them know that you hear them. Let them know that you are completely zoned in to what they're saying. The one thing that I do when I'm having meetings, whether it's clients or my team, is I will literally flip my phone upside down. Sometimes I don't even take it out of my purse. And I don't pay attention to when it's ringing. I won't pay attention to it when it's buzzing, because I had put my phone on vibrate a long time ago on silent, and I never took it off of silent. So it's okay, because when I'm in a meeting with someone, my role in that moment is to hear them, is to listen to what they're saying with my heart and not just with my ears, to listen to what they're saying, not just to respond, but to hear what they're saying, to listen, to digest it, and then to respond with something to help them. When I'm coaching someone, I'm going to listen so that I can ask more questions so that they can come to the answer for themselves. For someone who is on my team, someone I lead, someone I'm a leader of, someone who I work with, when I'm having a conversation with them, I am fully present to what they're saying, because either I'm going to answer a question that they have, or I really truly care about what they have to say, about a story that they're telling me, about an event that happened, whatever it is. Why? Because I respect that person. Because I respect myself enough to understand what my role is in that moment and how I need to be present for the other person. Because at the end of the day, whether I'm a coach or I'm a leader or I'm a CEO, when it comes to my team, it's not about me. The only thing that is about me is how I show up and how I am being in that moment. That's what's about me. But my role and what I'm doing when I'm interacting with other people, it is more about them. And what can I do to help or guide or coach or align or partner with that person who I'm having a conversation with? Even my husband, when I'm having a conversation with him, and there were times when I was going through my own challenges where it was hard for me to stay present. And I know when it starts to get to be like if I'm tired, if I'm stressed, if I'm letting stuff get to me that I shouldn't let get to me, I know when it's happening because it's hard for me to stay present. And when it's hard for me to stay present, I don't feel good. I feel chaotic. And it's really hard to make a decision. It's really hard to be focused or to solve, like I said, solve a situation when you aren't present, when you're thinking about 500 other things. It's really hard to do that because, I don't care as much as some people say, and some people think that multitasking, whether you're working and multitasking or you're just your brain and your thinking is just multitasking, it is not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for you physically. It's not good for you mentally, but it's also not good relationship. So again, as we go into this season and beyond and next season and the following season, I want you to remember people want your presence. Not presence as far as physical things, presence, but your presence, your time, your advice, your guidance, your friendship, your laughter, your humor, your conversation, whatever it is, they want your presence. And with your team, with the team that you lead, the team that you manage, with the people that work for you, they want your presence. They need it. And the change that we want to create in the world, the change that we want to create around us starts with inside you as the leader. And then it moves into with inside your business. And if you can create a culture of presence where people are actually listening and they don't have that 1,000-mile stare because they're really not paying attention to anything that you say, or you have that 1,000-mile stare because you're not paying attention to anything that they say. And it's really easy as a leader, as a CEO. I am both myself. It is really easy to get caught up in the busyness of, that you have all of these different things that you need to do, but it is so invaluable and important to be present for the people that you're connecting with every single day. So put the phone away during the holiday season. Put the phone away during meetings. Shut all distractions off and make sure that you are present for the people that you're with. It will create so much harmony. It will create so much growth. It will create so much positive change that this world needs. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk on presence. I appreciate it. But it's, in all seriousness, it is something that people have such a hard time with. All they want to do is be in a conversation. They don't listen to what the other person's saying because they just want to respond with an argument, with a statement, with a judgment. And that's not what we need. We need people to have empathy, to listen with their heart and then respond with their mouth, to hear what the other person's saying. Because let me tell you, when you can really get grounded and present and hear what the other person's saying, some of the most profound things come out of those conversations. Some of the best ideas and creations and just amazing things. I had an experience the other day, and I just want to share this one last thing with you. I had an experience the other day where I was filling in for a client of mine that I work with because he had a medical condition that he needed to deal with. So I was filling in for him at an event, and I had the choice of helping him out in a time of need or doing something that I really wanted to do forever and ever and a day. And I had to make the choice. And I was honest with this thing that I was supposed to do that was somewhat of a dream of mine, and said, listen, I have this situation where I have someone who has an emergency health condition, and I need to fill in, and I'm trying to help them out. Is there any way we can make this work over here? And it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. And I was telling this to a friend of mine, someone who has become a dear friend of mine, but someone who I actually work with at one of my clients, and at the same client. And he heard what I said. He heard what I said, and he heard what happened. And then he did something extraordinary. Is he tried to do something to help me to achieve that dream that I had. And who knows, it might still happen. Who knows? But even if it doesn't, the fact that he was present in the conversation and heard what I had to say, and heard and was listening to the story, not with his ears, but with his heart. Like that, whether or not that dream happens, it's okay. The fact that I was heard and that someone was present in that moment means the world. And you can do the same for the people who you are interacting with, whether they're family or friends or your team or vendors or customers, whoever. Be present, because your presence is what matters most to them. So, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. If you found value on this show, please follow the podcast so you never, ever miss an episode. And I would love, love, love if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify for me. Even better, share the show with a fellow business owner ready to step fully into their CEO leadership role. Because right now, more than ever, the world really needs next level leaders. And by the way, did you know you can text me all your questions and get real-time feedback? You absolutely can. Just text the word CEO to me at 610-215-2838 to get connected. One last goodie for you before I go. If you're ready to scale your business and have a co-creator working right by your side, my C-Suite Mentor Program may be perfect for you and your possible new second in command. Just visit thecsuitementor.com to get started.